Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of the Patriotic challenge. This video is being hosted by Teresa B DIY and co-host is Sammy from Unicorn Dust Designs. I donated to this cause and joined this challenge for my dad, who is a veteran Marine. I love you, Daddy, and thank you for all your years of service. For this first project, you're going to need a sign similar to this shape. And somewhere in between me getting the sign and putting this paper on the back of the sign, I lost the footage. So basically why I did this is because the glitter gets everywhere and I did not want it all throughout the house. So I made the front the back and the back the front. I took the tag off, sanded that down, and going in with some plastic wood. I love using this because it goes on pink. Well, it's supposed to go on pink, and it dries brown. But this case, it was a little bit dry, and so I had to throw it in the trash, but it did putty the holes prior to me throwing it away. I guess some air got to it somehow. I went in with the color Mineral and gave this piece one coat. I was very surprised that it covered with just that one. Usually the boards from the Dollar Tree take about 2 coats, but this one only took 1. So how are you guys doing? I hope everyone is well, and thank you so much for stopping by for another video. I hope that you guys enjoy this red, white, and blue Patriotic challenge. So next I went in with 4 paint stirrers, 2 7-inch paint stirrers, and 2 14-inch. I picked these up from the Home Depot, or I think it was Lowe's. Either way, I think they both sell these paint stirrers, and they are very inexpensive. Now I did cut these with my miter shears. The 14 inches are a little bit thicker, so you have to cut them several times before it'll actually cut through, but they do cut through quite nicely. I use Waverly Antique Wax to stain the paint stirrers. The reason why I like using the antique wax is because it's odorless and it dries very quickly, and it does adhere very well to the wood. If you're watching this video and you served in any branch of the armed forces, thank you for your years of service and for fighting for our country's freedom. Here I'm just eyeballing where I want to attach the paint stirrers. For those of you who are not familiar with the Farmer's House, it is a home away from home for military families and veterans while they go and have specialized treatment. So in a sense, it's similar to the Ronald McDonald House, but it's for military veterans and their families. If you would like to donate to this organization, I have put the link in my description box below. Teresa and I did a collab a couple months back, and when she put this challenge up, this is why she was donating, I definitely wanted to join in on the donation and support her. Several other content creators have also joined in and will be donating as well, and it's just a really great organization. If you have a trained eye to see if anything is leveled, let me just go ahead and tell you that the because was not level. I had to take it off because I tend to stick things down with a naked eye, thinking that it looks straight to me, and then when I look at it from up close, I realize that it is going downhill. But I was able to get it off without scratching the paint and without messing up the vinyl. You'll have to comment below and let me know if I leveled it off or if you could still see that it's just a teeny bit crooked. And this little section right here is why content creators like myself apply vinyl, sometimes off camera, because this piece right here was giving me the business. So after looking at it, it was looking pretty plain, and it did not meet what my brain had thought it would be. So I went in with some of this really, it's not nautical rope, but it's a little bit heavier than the nautical rope that I got from the Dollar Tree. And initially I was gonna make a hanger because I thought it would be cute if you could just hang it. And then after I did that, I realized if it hangs on the outside, then the sign tilted forward a lot. So once I hot glued it down, I didn't want to mess up, well, I guess not mess it up. I didn't want to have to throw this piece away. So what I did was I just ended up cutting off and leaving like makeshift knots around each corner, and I thought it was really really neat. And so here's where I attempted to make a hanger. And here's where I realized the hanger was a flop, and I cut the rope off, leaving the knots, and I went ahead and did that to all four sides. I put some pip garland that I had left over and dry brushed some plaster, and that was it. So project number 2 is a ladder that I picked up from the Goodwill. You guys know that I love a good thrift flip. If you choose to do something like this, you can definitely just get some wood from your local hardware store and have it cut down. Now, as I was looking at this, I did like the fact that you could hang pictures on there, but I wasn't quite sure if that's how I was going to do it, or leave, or even if I was going to hang pictures or whatever. So I did leave the wire in place, but I went in with plaster and I painted it all over. I wasn't trying to fully cover the wood, but just more or less knock down some of the brown. And I went right behind that, and I used some sandpaper to distress it. I picked up a pack of these foam glittered stars from the Dollar Tree. One of them was broken, but I was able to reattach one of the points using some hot glue. I had a plan to make a garland with these stars. So I was inspired by a video that I saw the other day where the creator used the nautical rope and frayed the ends to make it into a garland. I wish that I remembered who that was so I could give them the proper credit, but this is the coolest idea, and it was so easy to make. And here it is, guys. What do you think? I paired it up with the USA from the Dollar Tree. This piece is very interchangeable, and it can be used for many purposes. So I found this wreath at Goodwill, and it had been previously spray painted gold, so I knew that wouldn't work for what I wanted it to be. So I went in and I removed the burlap bow, as well as that pretty purple flower. I'm not sure of the name of it, and I think I'm going to keep that for a later project for something maybe. I picked up some ribbon from the Dollar General, and I thought it was perfect for this project. I went in with a chippy brush and some Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster. So guys, I had envisioned this really big pretty bow that I wanted to have and to put on this wreath. And the easiest way that I found was to cut a generous amount of ribbon, hot glue the ends together, and then fold them in half, and then attach them all to the wreath. I forgot to say that this ribbon is wired, so that makes it a lot easier to work with. If you're going to do a project with ribbon making or anything like that, definitely get the wired ribbon because it is easy to work with and you can shape it and form it in the way you want it to go. Now, as I was putting this all together, I was starting to feel super excited because what I had envisioned was actually coming to life. And that is always the beauty of crafting. When you have something in your mind and you're able to execute it, for me, I feel a sense of completion. And so guys, this is how it turned out, and I absolutely love the way it looks, and I cannot wait to see it on our front door. So our fourth and final project, bringing this thing in for landing. Guys, I was inspired by Whiskey and Wit. She used one of these Dollar Tree crates to make a stack of books. I would link the video in the description box listed below. Now, this crate had handles, of course, and in order for me to make this be a stack of books on all three sides, I had to use a popsicle stick and to cover up that hole. Now, I wasn't too worried about it was gonna be inset just a little bit because it was a side view and no one really, like, you had to get up on it to see that it wasn't a complete piece of wood on the sides. After closing off both of the holes, after closing off each side, I then went and I made makeshift lines on the side so I would know where to paint. Now, surprise, surprise, this whole video has been red, white, and blue, so I cannot let you guys down and not do a stack of books that's red, white, and blue. Now, if you choose to do this and you do not have a steady hand, definitely grab some painter's tape because it can be a little bit challenging when you get towards the edge of not bleeding the two colors in. Going over to my silhouette and using the font, the Skinny, I typed out the words, "Land That I Love." I attached the words to the books, and the red and the blue, that paint allowed the vinyl to go on very easily. The white, however, it did not do so great. It was very hard to get the word "that" onto the white book, and I don't know why, because it was all the same paint. I just don't know. But once I got it on there, because I had to finagle it on, it wasn't an easy peel off. I went back over it with Mod Podge to help seal it in. Then I'll use that same technique to make the garland, but this time I used just a single piece of jute. Because I knew that I wanted to have some type of something hanging off the top, and I had a bunch of those foam glittered stars left, so I went in and just spaced those out, and at the end I unraveled the jute, frayed it out a little bit to make it look like a tassel, and then I went and wrapped a couple times around the entire stack of books, and this is how it turned out. So guys, that's it for today's video, and I'm super excited that you stopped by my channel. If you are visiting from the playlist, welcome, and to my new subscribers, welcome as well. And I want to give a personal thank you to Teresa for hosting this challenge and Sammy for co-hosting.